I am a woman in IT.
I am a woman in IT.
And I'm a woman in IT.
I am a woman in IT.
I am a woman in IT. Thank you.
My name is Gwendoline Arrington, and I am a Bolingbrook IT Commissioner. Tonight, we are here for the Women of IT webinar that we're presenting. So we're giving you a perspective from a woman's point of view of being in the IT profession. So the Bolingbrook IT Commission is a volunteer organization of individuals with over 70 years of combined IT experience. Our purpose is to help Bolingbrook residents with IT topics via community outreach, like the webinar, as well as working on benefits, options, projects, whatever, for the residents. The IT Commission brought this webinar to you. We thought it would be a great topic to show you what IT professionals look like as women, not just men. And these are people in your community, well, almost, most of us. All of the female Bolingbrook IT commissioners are participating in this, and you'll get to see us and interact with us tonight. So the big purpose for this webinar is to provide an opportunity for you to see us women fully engaged in the IT community. So although this is a webinar, we do plan to do interactive work with you. So the first part of this program, we're just going to take a minute to get familiar with the technical stuff in the program. So let's jump right into it. The first feature that we have available for you to use in order to interact with us is the Q&A feature. So you'll see, if you see the Q&A feature button down at the bottom of the screen, you'll be able to ask questions throughout. And then we'll take those questions at the end of the webinar, and we will have an open one-on-one, open conversation with the panelists to answer some of your questions. So just to get a practice run, so this poll is asking a question. What percentage of IT roles are filled by women? What percentage of IT roles do you think are filled by women? So the poll results reveal that 57.1% of everyone thinks that IT roles are filled by 26%, and you are correct. IT roles are filled by 26%, or they're filled by 26% of women.
My name is Lakshmi, Anumalasetty. I love to work in healthcare industry and working as an IT consultant in Aetna CVS. I have been working in the IT industry for over 13 years.
My name is Christina Marriott, and I am a proud small business owner of Kinetic Energy Data Solutions, an IT consulting company. I've been in IT for about 13 years.
My name is Sonia Pinella. I work for Exelon Corporation. I'm a senior analyst for operations technology, cybersecurity governance. I have been in IT for a little over 12 years.
My name is Toni Washington. I'm an IT consultant. I've been in the IT industry for over 15 years.
Hi, I'm Gwen Arrington, and I'm a section engineer at ComEd and an IT commissioner. I've been in the IT industry for over 25 years. We're going to start with the first question, and this question is going to go to all the panelists, and we're going to start with Christina first. So the question for all the panelists is, how did you get into the field of information technology? Did you choose your career or did your career choose you? So Christina, weigh in on that.
Absolutely. So my name's Christina Marriott, just a quick introduction, and I own my own company, Kinetic Energy Data Solutions. And I would say my career definitely chose me, surprisingly enough. I was going to nursing school. I was working overnight at St. John's Hospital in Tulsa, Oklahoma. And I found myself always troubleshooting the equipment since I worked late shifts and worked overnight. We didn't have the same support. And so as beds would break down, as equipment would break down, I just kind of found troubleshooting a little bit more natural to me as opposed to other people. And then I was eventually presented to take a software support position. It was supposed to be temporary, just for about 6 months. And I thought it was a perfect time because, again, I was putting myself through nursing school and I was begging for regular hours. And what turned into a 6-month temporary job ended up turning into a lifelong career. And that's kind of what got me started.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Toni Washington, and I am an IT commissioner. And I am a woman in IT, so I'll just redo the video live and in person here. So absolutely. I've been in IT for 15 years, over 15 years. And how did I get into IT? It's interesting. I followed a boy into an IT computer class in high school, and he hated the class, but I loved the class. So I stayed, and it became a career for me. So I got both my undergrad degree in computer science as well as my master's degree in computer science. And so as they say, the rest is history. So I've been in this industry for, as I stated, over 15 years. I've gone from being very technical to now in leadership positions. So it's been a very rewarding field for me as a woman, but we'll get into those details as we go deeper. We'll go deeper. Back to you, Gwen.
Thank you very much, Toni. Miss Sonia Pinella, how about you give us your introduction? Do the video.
Sure. Hello, everyone. My name is Sonia Pinella. I work for Exelon Corporation. I've been in IT for a little over 12 years. And how I got into IT is I'm a very curious person, and I like figuring out how things work, how they're connected. And it's something that doesn't work. Why doesn't it? How can I help? It all started really with a toy laptop that my parents had gotten me for Christmas when I was a kid. And I was like, okay, well, when I hit the key, what happens and how does it end up on the screen, the letter? And so I took that thing apart, and I may or may not have been able to put it back together, but that's really where my love of computer science started.
Yes, my name is Lakshmi Anumalasetty, and I'm working as a IT consultant. And software is chose me to work in the IT industry. Then I went and liked that IT industry. I'm living in Bolingbrook and working as a software consultant around 13 years here. Thank you.
All right. Well, thank you very much, Lakshmi, for being here on this panel tonight. We're just getting started into the first topic, which is careers. We're going to continue with this career discussion. So Christina, you're on deck first. And the way the panel is going to run is I'm going to ask a primary person a question. and I'll let them answer. And then if you all have like any like small rebuttals or anything to add to that main point, I'll give you a few seconds or a little while so you can go ahead and make that point. So Christina, the first question is on you. You ready?
I hope so.
All right. Do you think women should pursue careers in IT? And if so, why?
Absolutely. And the reason I believe that women should pursue these careers is because I think we bring a different dynamic. I think we're able to see the big picture, and we can get very creative. I know in running a household, in managing kids and managing my wonderful husband and his career and taking care of everything, I have to step back and I have to see everything that's going on and take a look at that big picture. And that allows me to take on creative solutions or creative ideas. And I think we need more of that. I think women are naturally much more creative. And I think what we bring is those creative solutions. And I feel that as more women enter, we will have stronger role models and more women to look up to, and a support network, because in IT, it can be very hard to have the support we need as women. So I definitely encourage it.
Thank you. Toni, do you have anything to add? You're on mute. Classic
Sorry
IT
about
meeting.
that. Exactly. All right, let me have this. So I would agree with Christina. I think women naturally are multitaskers as well. Just think of the fact of what we do throughout the day, especially if you have a family. Personally, I don't have a family, but I just think of the fact that women do so much throughout their day. Not only are they going to work and doing their work efforts, their work tasks, their activities, working on the projects that are there, but then they're subsequently going home to take care of the kids, to take care of the household as a whole, do the dishes, help with the homework, get the kids to bed. So I think naturally women are just multitaskers. And I think that benefits us in the workplace because that adds a level of diversity that simply may not be there if we were not there.
Very good point. Very good point. Sonia, got a couple of nuggets for us?
I would have to agree with what Toni and Christina have said. I'd also like to add that I feel like women are more open to having a conversation about a root cause, whereas I have found that sometimes others are like ready to provide solutions right away rather than having a conversation about what's really going on.
I agree 100%. Lakshmi?
Yes, I agree with Toni and Christina. Most of the time, women are having a lot of patience because of that. In IT industry, they can work any kind of work without having any issue, without having any frustration. The same way they can take care their family and their work, whatever they wanted. Multitasking, they can do it.
Got it. Thank you guys so much. I thought that was very good input and feedback. So this next question is for Toni. Are you ready?
I am ready.
Okay, Toni. So your question is, how did you speak up early about ambition in your career?
That's an interesting question. By nature, I am an introvert. And in being an introvert, I'm not always willing to put forth myself into a conversation. So sometimes I think it was Sonia who said it, I'm naturally a processor, and some women, I shouldn't say most, but some women are processors. So I'll sit back and I'll wait to hear all of the information, if you will. And then I will, at probably like 5 minutes before the end of a meeting, I'll raise my voice to either ask a question or to offer further insight. So how did I handle this early on? I was not very ambitious. I was very comfortable in sitting in front of a computer. Back in the day when I started, we actually had what were called the card deck. We actually had the computer cards that we would load up into a machine, and the machine would count them through. And I would walk around on campus with this box of cards, which represented my computer code. Exactly.
Me too.
And you know, God forbid if there was a strong wind that came across campus and knocked the box out of my hand, and all of my cards just, you know, went to the wind. But I was very shy, just very shy, and just very introverted. Subsequent in my career, though, I began to find my voice. I think Oprah penned it very nicely. She called it finding your big girl voice. Yep. So I had to find my big girl voice in order to, you know, be part of the conversation, understanding and realizing my value, not only as a person, but, you know, also as a woman. Because if you speak like this very high, you may not be taken very seriously. So I had to find a voice that men, quite frankly, would listen to and hear. There have been instances, and well, that's going to get into a little bit later, but I'll just pause there. But the way that I've been able to do it now is just finding my big girl voice, knowing and understanding that I have value to add to the conversation, and that by not bringing my full self to the table, to the conversation, that I may not be benefiting the company or the client that I'm working for at that time.
That is something that I had to learn the hard way as well. You have to basically step into your badness. You have to be big, you have to be bold, and you have to just be you and own who you are. So you have to step into your badness and bring that wonderful person that you are to the forefront, and you'll get the respect in order to thrive in this field. So
Mm-hmm.
Yep. So I'm going to move to the next question, which is Lakshmi. What would you say are some of the challenges? Oh, sorry, Sonia. How do you choose your mentors? And do you choose who you actually mentor?
That's a good question. I don't know that I don't know that I would call them mentors. I just call them friends. Like you, for instance, I look up to you, and you and I have that relationship where I can be like, hey, I might need something from you later on. And I'm willing to help you in your work, and I'm sure you're willing to help me in my work. So I don't know that I call them mentors exactly.
Do you have any people that you mentor?
Not exactly. I know I participate in volunteer activities, and I've participated in different panels. So I would consider that sort of a mentorship relationship. And if people choose to reach out to me, I'll go ahead and give them the best advice that I can.
Got it. What about you, Lakshmi?
Yeah, I do mentoring for college students where they are working in information technology, what they want to choose, how they want to go, and where can they find that jobs and all those things. I do mentoring for that college student. if anybody want to do in a different technology from IT industry, then I'm giving advices so that they can take care of and they can go and pursue their interests. I do a lot of mentoring.
Okay, good job. Just to remind the people who are here on the webinar, if you have any questions, feel free to put them in the Q&A chat, and we will look at those questions for the open session a little later. Now, it's time for our next poll. So, Jeffrey, can you put our poll on the screen, please? Oh, I skipped that too. Are you familiar with information with the IT industry? Let's see who's familiar with the IT industry. We'll do the Jeopardy thing. Since I'm having audio issues, I'll sing. Not. Okay.
I do just want to say I was not expecting a pop quiz throughout this. If I would have known that, I don't know if I'd be here.
Come on now, you know me, you know that's how we do. All right, we're going to go ahead and close the poll and see the results, see how many people are familiar with the industry. Oh. So 75 to 25%. So we have a good audience in here tonight. So now, can you put the next poll question up for us? All right, so what I would like to know, so this is a pop quiz. Ha, got you. I'm going to ask this question about one of our panelists, and I want you all to guess which one. You should have heard this information already, so I want to see if you guys are paying attention. Which panelist got into IT because she ended up fixing her classmates' technical problems while she was in nursing school? Do you guys know? Do you know? Do you know? All right, we're going to go ahead and close that poll and let's see if you guessed correctly. Let's see. Christina, 90%. That is absolutely correct. Christina got into it because everybody was bugging her to fix their issues. So good job. You guys are paying attention. I'm so proud. So now we're going to
nominating me.
So we're going to move to the next topic, which we're going to talk about challenges. So I would like to know from Christina, what made you start your own IT consulting business? And as a small business owner, can you tell us about one challenge you experienced and how you overcame it?
Yeah, so, and I think a lot of people kind of encounter this, but I always found myself thinking that I could do things better, more efficiently, for less money. And anytime I would bring up these ideas, the suggestions and ideas I did bring up were always frowned upon. And I felt as if no one was ever listening. And it's tough to have your hard work and time rejected over and over and over again, especially when all you want to do is what's best for the company and clients. So I started surrounding myself with very confident and supporting women who helped build me up and gave me enough courage to put my own ideas to work and do things my way. And there have been ups and downs, but I would not have it any other way. And best of all, we get to do what's best for our clients and best for ourselves. I get to encourage others to do what's right for the customers, and I get to oversee and continue their growth as individuals, which is really important to me, such as training. You know, I would always get shot down to improve myself in training. Supervisors would tell me no all the time. So it's really nice that I get to, you know, I get to say yes, and I get to do what's right.
Good job.
As
what
far
about
as,
you?
Oh, go ahead.
You got more? No, you got more?
Yeah, just for the challenges, but we can come back around to that. I'll let others speak.
No, go ahead, because this is the challenges part. So tell us.
So
we're all ears.
This is actually not just from being a small business owner. I think we as women encounter this more often. I know I've seen this at play, and I've been guilty of this myself, where we witness our fellow woman deflect the credit for an achievement elsewhere. I do the same thing. I give credit to a team, or I give credit to others, and I don't take credit for myself. And while acknowledging the contribution of others is important, I think the biggest thing that we really fall short on is acknowledging our own contribution. Because if a project had failed, you wouldn't try to pass the buck, would you? I mean, so why would we try to pass it if we've succeeded? And I think that's one of the things that hurt us most in our careers. I think we should own our success, and I think we should stand in the basking light of our accomplishments, because we can still be a great person. You know, if you can't speak powerfully and compelling about your accomplishments, very, very few others will, if anybody. So it's not bragging, it's just being on your own side.
That is a huge, huge point, because it took me 15 years to figure out that when it comes to working in IT in corporate America, your work does not speak for you. Your mouth does. And it's not who you know, it's who knows you. So you have to get over, being a subscriber to the Humble magazine. You can be humble outside of the office, but when it comes to the office, it's all about me and what I do. I have done this. And you can, like she said, you can give accolades to other people and credit, but you have to make sure especially if you're driving that, you have to make sure they know your worth and your skills. So, Sonia, do you have anything to add? No.
My response to that question would have been different. For me, it was being the first one in my family to get a career, to get an education. And so for me, that was one of the biggest challenges, figuring out who do I ask about different things? How do I become successful? And it's, I found that you just have to keep that curiosity alive and take advantage of, well, not take advantage of the resources that are available to you, but really use those resources that you do have to your advantage.
Okay, thank you, Sonia. So next question goes to Miss Toni. Are you ready?
I am.
This is a good one, but I know you're gonna do well. We're not worried. So, how did a negative experience fuel you to be successful in your career in IT? Tell us about that.
Well, let's see. I'm trying to pick which one, because I think I believe that we learn. Our mistakes are just stepping stones to an opportunity to learn. I had to grow into understanding that, quite frankly. So I think any of our failures, any of our mishaps are just lessons that we learn. And we need to be able to shepherd our manage upward, to shepherd our management and understanding that if they don't get that, right? So I think one of the things that challenges that propelled me to dig in, if you will, amidst such a male-dominated industry, is the fact that you cannot, you can be humble, yep. Right? You can be humble, but you can't be passive, right? You can't allow the loudest voice in the room, if you will, not to be yours. I was watching the debate last night, and I'm not trying to get political here, but I think it's very important that we as women are able to say and share what our value is in that room. First of all, we have to be in the room, right? We have to be in the room where the decisions are made. And if we're not in the room where the decisions are made, the question is there someone else in there? You talked about mentors before. Is there someone in that room that can sponsor you? So the challenge that I had is that I did not have a mentor. I did not have a sponsor. I did not have someone who could go in and speak for me to share the value that they thought that I was as an employee. So I had to become that person for others, right? And I had to become that person for myself. And as I shared initially, I was just an introverted person. So I had to almost take my introvert hat off and become an extrovert. And it's very painful. I don't know how many of you are introverts, but it's very painful for an introvert to do that, to promote themselves, to talk about themselves or talk up themselves in a situation. But I do agree with Gwen when she says that you need to take that hat off and put on another hat because you can be humble outside. Not humble, but I mean, you can show humility obviously at work because you want to show that you're empathetic to the people that are there, to their concerns. But you have to find a way, if you're an introvert, to be able to do that where it doesn't cause you a heartache or cause you difficulty in really just trying to put yourself forward. So, so I use that in order to propel myself in positions of leadership, quite frankly. I began to just put myself in the middle of situations. And for those of you who can't see it virtually on video, I'm about 6'1", yes. And you can't miss me, right? Yep. So I do try to use my height to my advantage. I didn't early on, just did not like the 7, my granddad was 7 feet. So I was the girl in the family who got all of his height, if you will. But did not enjoy it, but learned to love it because you learn to love the skin that you're in, right? So I say that I took that challenge of not having someone who would sponsor me, not having someone who would mentor me, and I put myself in the middle. Now, when I did that, I did get labeled as being too aggressive. I did get labeled as being, well, why is she always saying that she's not included in things, right? So there's a fine line that we as women of color, that we stand on, because you don't want to be perceived as being too aggressive, but then you have to be aggressive in order to be seen, in order for your voice to be heard. And that's a fine line. That's a fine line that we walk every day when we walk into the office, be it a virtual office or a physical office. And I apologize, Gwen, I'm monopolizing the conversation. So I will turn it back over to you.
Thank you, Toni. I was trying to find the pause, but but it was good information, so that's why it's okay. We're doing good. Miss Lakshmi, you want to tell us about how a challenge helps fuel your passion in excelling in your career?
Yes, I would say 3 parts of success in our life. Everywhere we will see this kind of situations. First, we can say recognize, and the second one, transform the law of haters. The third one, which I followed, is a learn. Whenever we want it, we don't want to stop learning. We want to keep going, learning. I would give one example. When I'm trying to get in a job in full time, always my friends are telling, don't go into in-person interviews. Always you have to take a telephonic interview. Always I don't like to go because my communication is different than here. That's why always I want to go in-person interview. That's the where I become success. I got all kind of full-time positions. I did not go into a telephonic interview anytime. And another thing is, whenever someone is hated, you have to take it a positive way. That fight has to success in our career. That's what I followed. And now I've become as a IT project manager.
All right. So actually, building on what you just said, Lakshmi, one thing that we have to remember, I'm like dropping little nuggets. I'm sorry, but you have to take a negative and turn it into a positive. And also don't let previous negative experiences dictate what could happen in the future. Because just because it happened that way once before does not necessarily mean it'll happen again. So you have to frame your mind to treat every experience as its own experience. So that was like something positive that I had learned and kind of started to take with me. So we're gonna get ready for our next poll, but it was something else that the whole beginning of the program kind of got weird. And I'm all messed up, but I realized that you guys got introduced, but I didn't introduce myself. So I'm just gonna take like 2 seconds to kind of tell you guys, I'm Gwendoline Arrington. I am a Bolingbrook IT commissioner. I'm also a section engineer at Commonwealth Edison. I have been in the IT industry for probably 27, 28 years. I know this little young face don't tell that story, but yeah, I've been there a while. So I've been in the game a minute. And when I met Sonia, we just clicked instantly. So that's why I understood what she was talking about when she said mentor, but I didn't realize that she looked at me that way. So it's actually nice. I'm excited. So we're going to pull up the next poll. Jeffrey, if you can re-pull up that panelist poll, because yes, it's another quiz. And no, the answer's not Gwen.
But it might be.
So which panelists, here's the question. Which panelist took her first information technology course because she was taking it with a guy that she liked? Okay, that's all the singing you're gonna get. All right, I'll give you 5 more seconds to click it in. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, let's go. Go ahead and close the poll. Let's see those results. So the answer is indeed Toni. You guys are paying attention. Good job. I'm so proud of you guys. Thank you very much. So now we're going to move into the next part of the program, which is we're going to talk briefly about home and family. So, Christina, this question is for you. How do you manage home and school while working remote? And when I say school, I'm talking about all of the little remote learning for the kiddies. How do you manage that?
Miserably. it's if anybody has any pointers, I'll take it. Accountability, you know, it's very interesting because I just got custody of both my children. My son is severe special needs, and my daughter's doing remote learning. I will say the best thing that's come out of this is that she's had to be more accountable for her work, because it's no longer about showing up. It's about actually turning it in and understanding it. And so I actually log in to her portal every single night, and I make her sit there and watch me log in. So I can see what work she's turned in, what work she hasn't, what work she's got coming due. And then we incorporate that into discussions, as well as, I don't know if you've seen it here at the house, Gwen, but there's a little whiteboard and Kaylee's taking Spanish, and we kind of make it a little competitive. So they use this app, Duolingo, and we've got myself and my husband who logs in and also partakes, and whoever gets the most points for that week gets to pick what we're going to eat on Friday. So like pizza, anything delivery wise or carry out. So we try to incorporate some of that. But as far as managing it, I'm just surviving. I would say that's kind of where I'm at.
What about managing work with that?
Oh, I just set expectations. I think that's the biggest thing is setting those expectations up front. I think that's where people fall short. So I think in communicating what those expectations are, hey, I've got my kids, family comes first. I have to be there because they're the future, right? They're going to be the ones paying our Social Security when we retire. So I kind of remind my employees as well as customers about that, and just set the expectation of, look, I will be here on this time, and this is what we're going to get done, and setting up those goals for that week, and then kind of checking in to make sure that it is getting done and that we are on task and that things aren't falling behind.
Good job. What about you, Lakshmi? How do you manage home and family?
Yeah, always we have to make a plan. I do my regular work and as well as my family. Before going to start I do my meditation. I will finish it up my meditation around 7 o'clock. Then I will finish it up my cooking. Then I will close everything. I want to go and start my work at 9 o'clock. I will finish it up around 7:30 in the evening. I will prepare everything for my family, and my kids will come and eat their food. And if they want any kind of help, I can do it in the evening. That's where I can manage my career and my family.
So you have silos, basically, where you have time for work and time for family.
Yes.
Okay. Good to know. Thank you. I have another question here from Miss Toni. You're gonna kick this one off. Mm-hmm. When did you realize that women are essential in information technology? Or do you feel that women are essential? I asked the question because I feel they are.
I feel they are too. I feel that we as women are essential in every possible industry in this world. As we shared at the top of the call, I think it's important for us to, as women, to understand that we are of value and that what we bring to the table is just so unique. Like we talked about creativity, we talked about multitasking. I mean, think of and I wish at some point in time, okay, Gwen, you're gonna have to find that pause button here, but think about a point in time when you have, when I mentor people, and I mentor people in various different industries, but when I mentor people, they'll say, well, I haven't been in the workforce for a very long time because I stepped out to have kids. And I'm like, well, you're the CEO of your household. You've done everything a CEO could possibly do. You've done organization, you've done planning, you've been accountable for many resources, i.e. children. You've been responsible for getting them to various different events, so you're an event planner. I mean, it's just so many things that a mother in a household can do, because that is the most wonderful job that there is as possible, right? And they are, as I think Christina just said, they are the producers of our future. So I think in every possible industry there is, women are of value. Women bring a great deal to the table, and we should be paid tremendously for it. I'm just going to leave it at that.
So, okay, here go another nugget. Ladies, when it's time to negotiate your salary, know your worth and add 10%.
I
Gotta
was
get
gonna
that
say
tax.
20.
See? Yeah, so know your worth and add 10%. Just always remember that, because one big fact, and it's a common fact, is that women are typically underpaid. They're not paid as much as their male counterpart. And that's because we typically do not know what we're supposed to be making. So you have to take the time to do that research. And then you can't say, oh, well, I don't want to ask for this much, because, you can't have that doubt. Know your worth and add 10%. And if they value you and your worth, you'll get that. So, okay, we have another poll question. So can you put up the next poll question for us, please? What U.S. city has the most tech company startups founded by women? What do you guys think? I know I was totally surprised when I researched this and found this answer. So I'm gonna pull Sierra again. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's go. All right. So let's end the poll and see the results. Oh, wow, you guys do know. It's Chicago. Good job. Chicago had the most. Not only tech startups, but just startups in general. Chicago had the highest number. It was the top 3 cities were Chicago, Boston, and Silicon Valley. And that information I found in an article in Inc. magazine. So I was actually surprised when I found that. So the next thing we're going to talk about is advice and encouragement. What advice do you want to give these women, the people who are on this panel? So the first question I have is, and this is going to be more of a round table, so you guys, I'll start with a person and then you can chime in. So Sonia, IT is about 26% women. What advice would you give to a young girl starting out with a future, or who wants a future in
Couple of
IT?
things that I wrote down a couple of things. Don't think that your opinion doesn't matter because you're the only woman at the table. I know that I was going through my computer science classes at Dominican University, and every single class, I was the only woman there. It's like, oh man, am I really gonna make it? Am I going to be as successful as these people? And you that's when I had to find myself and really just keep looking at the positive side. Like, yes, you got here for a reason. Just keep going. Just don't stop asking questions and taking advantage of the resources available to you.
Christina?
Support. I think you and I've had this conversation before, Gwen, but I feel women, we naturally compete against each other when we should be supporting each other. And I think that's because we live in a men-dominated society where I think we are fooled into thinking that we pick, or that the men pick their mates, that the men pick everything. I think that because of that, we don't empower ourselves and we naturally compete against each other. And I would recommend just supporting. I've actually been jealous of some of the women that I've previously worked with, and I've addressed it head on. And it's been uncomfortable, but I'll tell you what, some of those women are my best friends to this day. And it's because I recognize that I had some competitive issues and some jealousy, and they turned out to be great mentors and great drinking buddies. And support, we really need to resonate and empower each other, because nobody else is going to have our back but ourselves and other women, because they know what it's like. And I think that we really need to support each other in that regard.
What about you, Toni? What advice would you give to a newbie?
I'm going to piggyback off of what Christina said. I had the opportunity to speak during a very intimate setting with previous Secretary of State, Madeleine Albright. And like I said, I'm about 6'1", she's about 4, 5 feet tops. And when I had the opportunity to have a one-on-one with her, just to merely, just shake her hand and just say, I really appreciate all that what you've done in your service. What she said during that session was, when a woman calls you on the phone, take the call. And so that gets back to what Christina said about support. We need to support each other because nobody else is going to support us, especially if you're the one of, let's say on your one hand, 5 women that are in that organization, 5 women that are, 1 or 2 women, let's say that 5 is a stretch, 1 or 2 women that are on the team. But she said if a woman, every time that a woman from a different country called her, she stopped her meeting and she took that call. So that would be one, so is support. And then secondly, the advice that I would give is just like they say, what do you think about when you're buying a home is location, location, location. For us in IT, it's learn, learn, learn. Don't stop learning because our field is ever changing. And if we as women get very comfortable in the positions that we are and the knowledge that we think that we have, that our industry will run ahead of us and we won't be able to catch up. So continuous learning, those are the 2.
Sonia? Oh, did you start the question? No.
I started
Sonia started it. Okay, sorry. She's just so cute. I wanted to ask you again. Christina, what about
I'll
you?
answer again.
Oh, Lakshmi. We can go to Lakshmi.
Yeah, I would say about what Toni said. Keep learning. Always information technology has a lot of changes. We should not stop. The only woman can learn whatever the new changes is going to come into our life. The same way we can learn in the company if they have adopted any new kind of technology.
What about you, Christina? Did we lose her? Oh,
No, I'm
okay.
here. So
What advice, what would you tell a new girl coming into IT?
don't be scared. Get ready to get, be ready to get outside of your comfort zone. I think it's important that we push ourselves to get outside of our comfort zone because that's how we learn, right? And sometimes when something doesn't sit well, or if you have questions, other people are going to have questions. So don't ever be afraid to speak up and ask. Even if it just means writing it down and asking somebody you can confide in a little bit later. But definitely just push yourself and be ready to be outside of that comfort zone a little bit, because that's how you grow as a person.
So my answer to that question, for me, it would be, don't be afraid to take risks. Just jump and grow your wings on the way down. You'll land on your feet. Trust me. And as they said, learn. It's very fluid. Always stay ahead of the game. Stay on top of whatever's trending, the new technology. If you are in a company who supplies that new technology, make sure you're on those projects that is providing that new technology. When I was in telecommunications, I started in 2G. When 2G came out, Gwen moved to 3G. When 3G came out, Gwen moved to 4G. I tried to always stay, whatever was new, that's what I learned. And then you also have to take the time to self-teach. So dive into some classes. I learned web development. Nobody taught me. I didn't take a class. I learned it on my own. So there's a free website out there called Coursera. You can go out there and take whatever classes. Now, if you want the certificate, you got to pay, but you could take the class for free. So I don't care about a certificate. I'd rather have the knowledge. But when you're on a budget, go take the class for free. At least it'll give you enough information to whet your palate. Now, we're going to move into the Q&A section of the program. We do have a few Q&A questions. So I'm going to go through these questions and ask. I know we are at time. It's 8 o'clock, but this is the last portion of the program, and I really think these are some good questions. So I am going to start with this question. I think we answered it, but the question is from Miss Christy Smith. It says, what are some of the most difficult challenges you have experienced as a woman in IT? Who wants to take that? Anybody? Don't make me be like the teacher.
I'll take the question. So Christy, the challenges that I spoke of before is really just understanding your value as a woman and ensuring that those who either you report to or the group that you're part of, that they understand that you are technical, that you add value to the team, and that your voice is worthy to be heard. So the challenge is being able to ensure that your team understands your value and recognizes it. And I'll just hand it off to someone else.
Anybody else want to weigh in? Okay, I'll be nice. I'll let you off the hook. So here's the next question from Sheila. Do you think it is important to pick mentors who have the personal characteristics you wish to emulate as well as their technical expertise? Christina? You knew I was going to get you.
Well, why? I've been answering them. I've been typing. If you look at the answer, I've handled all of those.
Oh, no.
See, I was trying to get ahead of it a little bit.
Multitasking.
Yeah. So I'm sorry. So you were reading the pick mentors.
The mentor.
Yep.
Yeah.
I think so. I actually go the opposite way. So I do look at the technical abilities of the women, but I look at personality conflicts a little bit, because I try to, if I can work with that person and they can mentor me and I have that open mind, I look more of what they're capable of more so than the personality characteristics, just because it will help me as an individual handle others, especially if that person's open to being a mentor. There was this lady that was a mentor, and we were polar opposites. But I asked her if she would mentor me, and I learned a lot. I learned how to work with that type of personality, and I gained so much more knowledge from her because of her technical abilities.
Got it. Good job. Lakshmi, you want to weigh in on that?
Yeah, I would say when we are going to pick any mentor, we need to know about them. No need to be, they are going to be as a information technology knowledge. They should be the personality, they should be good, and they have to willing to share any kind of information. That's the way the mentee is going to get lot of knowledge, lot of experience, lot of information from the mentor. That's what I think.
Okay. Toni, do you want to weigh in?
No, I think the ladies have covered it.
Okay. I know Sonia talked about mentors earlier, so that's good. Thank you. So the next question we have from Jerry Janak. I hope I pronounced his name right. I'm so ashamed because I've been knowing him and I don't know how to pronounce his last name. Don't kill me, Jerry. Are there opportunities for women in the IT field? What are the rewards, salaries, promotion, job satisfaction. Do you guys find your jobs rewarding? Let's start there. Sonia, I'm going to put you on the hook first.
Sure. I definitely find my job rewarding. As I introduced myself in the beginning, I said that I'm a curious person and I like figuring out how things work, how they're connected to each other. And in the role I'm currently in, I have the ability to figure out all of those things. I'm working on a project to put security controls for devices out in the field, and I will be the technical lead for the asset inventory management system. And when I first started this career, I told myself I will never be a developer. And yet my first role with the company was a developer. And through that struggle, I learned how to talk to people, gather their requirements, and that is helping me in my role now. So I lost track of the question, but I hope I answered it.
It was good.
Okay, we have another question from Sheila, and this is I think probably everyone on this panel. I know it resonates with me because I've been in this situation. How have you all handled situations where the room does not recognize your input or they restate it as their own?
Oh my goodness. Can I take that one?
Yes. It's like everybody like, you see me?
My goodness. Yes. So who was that, Sheila?
Yes.
Okay, so Sheila, I hope you're still with us, but yes, that has happened time and time and time again. And once again, let's say that you're sitting around the table, Sheila, and that happens. You make a statement, and it's like nobody hears it. It goes into this black hole, right? And then all of a sudden, someone says the exact same thing that you've already said. Yeah. Now, here's how to grab back control.
Ooh, I need to know this. I'm all ears.
One of two ways. Here's the first way. Stand up. Just stand up. You don't have to say anything, just stand up. And then that will have everyone looking at you like, well, why is she standing? And then sit back down and say, well, so-and-so, I'm so glad that you liked my idea that I just provided to the entire room. I'm glad that I have your support.
Okay. Nice. Nice.
Okay. If
everybody should write that down. Everybody should write that down.
Right there. Everybody, that. I love it. I so love it. You said that. You hit the nail right on the head, Toni.
Oh, it's happened so many times. Trust me, it's practice, because at first you're shocked, right? It's like, didn't I just say that?
I just
said that. And I'm looking for somebody else in the room to say, didn't you? And everybody else is like looking away from you.
Or, oh yeah, that's a good idea, such and such. And you like, wait a minute now. Did I not just say that? So
yes, I wanna add to that. So there's
Please.
So many meetings going on remotely right now, and I think a lot of us turn off our cameras. So if you don't have the opportunity to stand up, turn on your camera and then say exactly what Toni was saying, right? Because they'll be like, ooh, right? So just a caveat, since our world's changing and in-person meetings aren't happening as often.
That's really good. That's good.
That's really good. I like that. Turn on your camera. So let me see. This is very good. Christy has another question. What do you feel is the most important skill to have to work in IT? Often it is said math is important. However, we know there are more skills needed to be able to sustain when working in a corporation that understands math. So what is your thoughts? Like what skills do you think people in IT have to have? I'll kick it off. I think an analytical mind, somebody that wants to, troubleshooting, organized. That's kind of the first two things that I think of. Like when I watch the TV show House, I'm looking at this man. All he do the same thing I do. He's just doing it on people. I'm doing it on the computer, but he's doing it's troubleshooting. You're analytical. You want to analyze a problem and figure it out, and then be innovative. Figure out ways to do something new, or a better way to do something you're already doing. So those are the things that I think you should have. So Sonia, Toni, Christina, Lakshmi, what you got?
Yeah, I would say, first thing, be positive, be strong, be accept. Whether it's right or wrong, just accept it first, then go and explain the situation. That's the way we don't get stressed, then we don't give any trouble to other people.
Okay, anybody else?
Grab the knowledge. Grab the knowledge.
Grab the knowledge.
Yep.
Yeah, the only thing that I would add to that list is you need to be able to think logically. Meaning, just like Gwen said, it's almost like, what are the predecessor steps and what are the successor steps? You need to be able to think logically through a problem to reach a solution.
Sonia, do you have one?
I would say, can you hear me okay?
Yes.
Yes, we can hear you.
I would say being able to have a conversation. Let's say you're not building an application, but you have a problem with your computer. Describe to me what's going on. I've got a blue screen. How do I get rid of it?
Christina?
Well, first I give it the 3-finger salute and I do Control-Alt-Delete, Sonia. No. See if that helps. No. There's so much out there from information technology. It doesn't have to be math. It doesn't have to be science. I think you just need to realize what your strengths are, play to those strengths, and see where they fit in. I can tell you right off the bat, as being a female, I don't think logically. No, I'm kidding. I'm sure my husband feels that way. But, yeah, I just figure out what you're passionate about, because I'm passionate about helping people. So that is my passion. That's my personal reward. And I'm able to take that passion in helping people and turn it into an IT career, such as trying to find solutions and applications or whatever the requirements are for that customer, right? And trying to get creative with that. So I'm not good at math, but I'm good at stepping back and trying to think creatively enough to help that individual or that client.
Good. So I think we have cleared the Q&A queue. I want to thank everybody for who took the time to ask us some questions. You guys asked some really good questions. Yeah. Now, we're almost done, but we're at the fun part of the program. So one of the things that we asked of our panelists was, because the IT industry is male dominated, everything is about the guy. So we wanted to see something fun that represents women. So I asked everyone to bring their favorite tech item that's girly. So it's a show and tell. Y'all didn't think y'all was gonna get a show and tell in this webinar, but you got it. So we're going to start with Lakshmi. Lakshmi, what do you have that's a girly tech item?
I have my girly tech item, headphones.
You got your little earphones. Are they pink? Or are they your favorite colors? What about you, Sonia? What's your favorite girly tech item?
My favorite girly tech item is this PlayStation controller, which you can see I'm matching very well.
Oh, go ahead, supermodel. All right, Miss Toni, what is your favorite girly tech item?
Mine is this stylus that is has a it's personalized with my name on it. Because I'm Toni with an I, everyone always spells my name with Toni with a Y, the male spelling. So I had to have something that has my name on it.
That's kind of cute. I'm gonna need that with Gwen. Yeah, I need that with Gwen in blue. Thank you. Christina, what about you?
So I failed this assignment.
Oh, you get an F.
You know what? I am gonna say I've got a computer bag. It's pretty girly. I really like it. So it's purple. It's Louis Vuitton. So that was my spirit on myself.
Wait a minute. So I was all proud of my little laptop bag that I was gonna show. I don't know if I want to show it now. Louis, I can't compete. But
Oh no,
I'm gonna
yes, you
show it
can,
anyway.
girl. You show it.
Anybody who knows me, they know I am not the girly girl. I am not a girly girl at all.
Same.
Nowhere near. But for some reason, I don't know. I'm gonna try to back up so you can.
Stand up.
I had to get.
Right there. Okay, pull it back a little bit.
Wait,
pull it back a little.
Go back. It's a Dooney. It's a Dooney and Burke laptop bag.
Okay. Very nice.
So there you go. So you see my little Dooney? That's my Dooney. So I'm not a girly girl, but I had to have this laptop bag. Also, I'll show you this since that's smaller. Blue is my favorite color, so I had to get me some blue earbuds. So that's the show and tell piece of this program. So we have two more quick polls or questions for you guys. So can you stick it up there? The next one, this question is, how satisfied are you with the webinar that was presented today? Give you another couple of minutes and then or seconds, and then we'll close out this program. Okay, you can go ahead and close it out. 87.5%. So ladies, I think we did a pretty good job. Yay. So remember, IT careers contribute to societal change. In the past, I worked on features that brought technology to society. For example, I was in the field testing text messages before you guys could. And I remember when I was testing 3G, when I was sitting on the beach, testing being able to work wirelessly. Now, it was times like that when I loved my job. But when I had to go to Germany in the winter for a month, it was times like that I didn't love my job. So, although there's only 26% of women in the IT industry, there are plenty of opportunities for women to participate and excel in a profession. So we encourage anyone who's interested in IT to seek out a mentor, get you a mentor, and get the guidance to start and progress your career. So the Bolingbrook IT commissioners in this program, the three panelists or two panelists and me have agreed to be available for anybody who would like to be mentored. So if you want to create a mentoring relationship with me, Toni, or Lakshmi, just visit the IT Commission's website at bobitc.org. I want to thank all of our wonderful panelists for being here and giving your time tonight to let everybody know how it really is to be a woman in IT. So representing the Bolingbrook IT Commission and a woman in IT, I would like to wish you guys a good night